So I've been using the Abxylute S9 controller for a few weeks now, and if you're in the market for a cheaper way to play your PlayStation 5 remotely, this might just be on your radar. But can it really hold up against options like the Backbone or even the PlayStation Portal? Let's break it all down, see where the Abxylute S9 stands against the competition, and if it is worth your hard-earned cash. First off, what is the Abxylute S9 in case you're not sure? It is a mobile controller for your phone and even small tablets like the iPad mini. Very, very cool. So it's designed to help you play remote play games and native mobile games and other cloud gaming services like Xbox Cloud Gaming, all on your mobile phone without having to use touchscreen controls because let's be honest, touchscreen controls are just the worst thing ever. I don't know how people play games that need any kind of accuracy or playing it for any length of time without getting sore hands. So having a controller like this is right out the gate a big win if you're playing anything on a mobile device. And I guess its main competitors out there, we've already mentioned, you've got the Backbone controller for your mobile phone, which is very popular. And then there's the PlayStation Portal, which is a dedicated remote play handheld device. And I know we're focusing a lot on remote play here. We will dive into some cloud streaming and a little bit of emulation in this review also. But the reason I say remote play is because for PlayStation players anyway, and this is a PlayStation channel, there's no option for cloud streaming on a mobile phone. It's basically using remote play from your PlayStation 5 to your phone, and that is where this controller will be handy for you. And before we get into more detail, this was sent to me from Abxylute, but this is my honest review, and they haven't even seen the video before it goes live. So let's jump into design and comfort. First of all, for the S9, and straight out the bat, for real, this is probably the most comfortable mobile controller I've ever used. I've only used a couple, but this just stands out right away. The actual shape, the ergonomics, especially if you compare it to like the Backbone. I mean, the Backbone kind of feels like probably like a Nintendo Switch 1 style of controller, whereas this actually feels quite like an Xbox controller in your hands. That is what it feels like. The sticks as well are not symmetrical the way you have on a DualSense controller where the two sticks are in the same position. You can see here one's lower and one's raised, but it is really, really comfortable. The buttons and the triggers have nice travel, unlike, I would say the Backbone, which really doesn't have much travel at all. And there's a specific name for these triggers. I want to get this right because I was going to say, analog triggers, but what they call them here, and I don't know if this is the same thing, they say Hall linear trigger. Sounds fancy. I know Hall effect joysticks, so I imagine this is something similar for the triggers, but it feels great, and we'll talk about that later when we're testing some of the games. The buttons are nice and clicky and satisfying. If you have ever used an Xbox controller, they feel very similar to the Xbox controller. Again, that's another big win over the Backbone, which is these horrible, super clicky little buttons. They feel like these small buttons on a Nintendo Switch controller. You know how the Switch controller has the D-pad, which is the 4 buttons? That's what that feels like. So that gets a big one there. Way, way nicer. Sticks feel great. Again, they're Hall effect sticks. And there's optional sticks which come with it, which are larger if you wish to switch them out. If I can get them out of this box here. Slightly larger if you wish to do that. I've just kept the standard ones on. Another thing that is nice actually is the D-pad. So the D-pad is nice and clicky, which is good. You can hear the phone making the noise as well. Way better than the Backbone, which is this kind of spongy feeling D-pad. But the thing I really like is they've really thought about this, and you can actually change how the D-pad looks. So see that there? You've got some optional discs there, which you can put on. Out of the ones I've tested, this one is my favourite. But for most of my testing, I just kept the standard cross D-pad on there. But feels really good, no complaints. If you're going to be playing fighting games and stuff like that, I do recommend you get these on the go. I did play King of Fighters 15 with the optional disc D-pads on, and it's way better, way more comfortable as well. It does not destroy your thumb, which is really cool. The rubber on these sticks as well feels really nice. Excuse me, I don't know how long they will last, like wear and tear. So I've been using this for about 3 weeks, so just under a month. And I mean, the controller actually still looks brand new. You wouldn't even think it has been used. So yeah, hopefully that remains and that lasts. I'm just thinking about like the Abxylute handheld streaming console, which I've used previously and reviewed on the channel. I'll leave a link to that down below if you want to check it out. Those sticks were have lasted well with in terms of the rubber. That's been about a year, but they are really tiny again, these sticks, very similar to the backbone and to the Nintendo Switch. These are far, far better. If we could get these on a dedicated handheld machine, that would be really, really cool. Hopefully Abxylute are cooking up something like that, and if they do, we'll bring you it here on the channel. So that is really, really nice. Phone fit, you are sorted. This is the iPhone 16 Plus, so you'll get your Pro Max and your bigger mobile phones on this, no problem. According to all the documentation for this, it does fit iPad minis and smaller tablets as well. I don't have one to test it, but I can just stretch it out a little bit here to show you. So there you go. A lot more room there to fit any tablets you may have onto the device. Another thing that's really cool that I really liked about this, and not a lot of mobile controllers do this, but you can see I've still got my case on this. The actual USB-C, if I can slide this out again. Oh yeah, I don't want to damage this here. Yep. It's really quite a long USB-C connector, so you can easily put your phone in with the case on, and then it just lights up. You can see there you've got your wee purple LEDs, so you know it's connected, and you're ready to go. Really, really nice. No complaints here at all. Then when it comes to the actual form factor, it is quite chonky. It does feel very comfortable to hold. You've got your back buttons as well here, which is a really nice touch. I love controllers with back buttons. They are macros, so you can map them to whatever you like, which is really, really nice. But I guess if you're looking for just portability, the backbone is a lot smaller, so that would probably be my pick for just sheer portability. But if you're going to use this thing a lot, this thing is far, far more comfortable to use. On the actual design again, the face buttons, this may annoy you if you are purely a PlayStation gamer. As you can see, it's got X, A, Y, and B, which isn't ideal if you do not know exactly where your triangle, square, circle, and X are. I've had years of practice, that muscle memory just kicks in, so it's fine for me, it doesn't bother me, but that would be a win for the backbone here, which if you buy the officially licensed PlayStation version, I'm trying to say, has the PlayStation glyphs on the controller, which is a really nice touch. And if you do open that up as well, you've got the PlayStation logo on the back, which is pretty cool. That's up to you. That would be the edge I would say the backbone has, but the S9 definitely for actual design and comfort, it gets the win. And I know I mentioned the back buttons there, which is a kind of nice bonus, nice to have, but these faceplates are actually magnetic, which is cool. They do sell other ones on their website. They only seem to sell one, which is kind of random. The advertisement seemed to show a whole bunch of different options, but there only seems to be one available, which is a shame. But that is nice to have because it gives you easy access to the D-pad, for example. When you want to take that off, it just pops off, and then you can click on one of the other D-pads you want. In terms of performance and functionality, there's not a lot to say about that. It's really good, really responsive. The real world feel was excellent. Plug and play, just plug the phone into the S9 controller. And then for me, the PlayStation Remote Play app worked no problemo. When I did a little bit of emulation, I used PPSSPP. It worked perfectly, no setup needed. And then any compatible mobile games, they will work the same way. And also the actual app which comes with it, it's kind of like a launcher, the Abxy app, it just works perfectly as well. As you can see, you can just click about, you can use the sticks as well. It's really responsive, no worries about that at all. Solid connection, solid performance. I do like these purple accents on the wee LEDs here. Really nice touch. It's subtle, it's not too in your face. The actual sticks as well do have some purple accents under them, which is cool. One thing I really liked about this, and it totally caught me off guard, so I had been using the backbone again just to refresh my memory, and this has rumble built into it. The backbone doesn't. A lot of people say, yes, it does. No, it doesn't. It's just the vibration from your phone. This has actual rumble built into the controller. I was playing The Matrix Awakens and I was like, whoa, this feels really good. It actually really stood out. That's a really nice touch. Makes the games way more immersive. And it actually felt, it doesn't feel like the DualSense controller. So the DualSense has really quite unique rumble on it. It felt more like an Xbox controller kind of rumble, but also it was nice and quiet. It didn't sound like one of these really cheap rumble motors, which you can hear. It just sounds like a vibration motor. It sounded really, really good. Gets a thumbs up from me, that does. And yeah, I recommend if that's a thing that's big for you and you want to have that capability, you can get that in there. No problemo on the S9. So what about testing it out with cloud gaming? How did that go? Well, I jumped into Xbox Cloud Gaming. If that's your thing and you've got access to it via Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, I think you need for that tier, jump in, check it out, and any other services as well, like your Luna or Nvidia, GeForce Now, they will all work on this. I jumped into Xbox Cloud Gaming, check it out, and I jumped into Forza Horizon 5, which was just absolutely awesome. And these whole linear triggers really, really stood out there. They were fantastic for acceleration. You can actually see the difference at the points of pressure on the controller instead of it just being like on off, which a lot of these mobile controllers are. So that is really, really great. Different levels of control there. It feels like your analog triggers on the PlayStation 5, but softer and less travel, and you don't have that awesome kickback feeling you get with the PlayStation 5 controllers. But great for racing games. You can control your acceleration. Really, really enjoyed that. No PlayStation Cloud Gaming for mobile yet. Maybe in the future, and we'll be able to test that out here also. But I also then checked out some emulation. Why not? Turn this thing into a PSP, PPSSPP, jumped into that, and one of my favorites there, Wipeout Pure on PSP, and it just worked like a dream. It looked really good on the iPhone 16 Plus, and it just felt great in your hands with this S9 controller. The shape of this is fantastic for long gaming sessions. I played this for hours last night just to get my last final feel before recording this video, and it was not uncomfortable at all. It was actually even way more comfortable than handheld devices like the Switch and even the Switch 2, and way more comfortable than the backbone, which after a while becomes nowhere near as comfortable. It's just too small. Maybe if you have smaller hands, it's perfect, but look at the size of this. It's tiny, whereas this, it's actually something good to grip onto. And I don't know what you'd call these cutout shapes here on the controller, but it's actually really good because your fingers just rest in there perfectly. Gives you a great grip on the device. I love it. Really, really good. I was really surprised how good this was. It feels like no corners have really been cut. It doesn't feel, it doesn't, what is the perfect way to say this? The price of this does not translate to how it feels, is all I'll say. We'll get to that later on. I'll explain that even more. So this app, there's this optional Abxylute app, which acts like a game launcher. I didn't really use it because I didn't really need to. I just launched straight into Remote Play using the PlayStation official app or used the PPSSPP app for emulation. But you can also customize the controller, which is really cool in this. There's lots of stuff you can do. You can map the buttons, you can tweak the controller to your liking, the sensitivity and dead zones of the sticks, which is a cool touch. There's quite a lot you can do. And if you're really into honing how your controller works, the Abxylute S9 definitely gets a big tick in the box there. Lots of customization, lots you can do to just get the controller to react how you want depending on what game you're playing. Maybe you want to tweak it a bit differently for your FPS games versus, your racing games. You've got it all here. Really nice touch. But remember, you need to download the app to get access to all of that. And I recommend you download the app anyway, because via the app you can update the firmware on the controller, so you can just keep it up to date. Well worth doing because it's free, so why not? So what about the price of this versus the competition? Well, this is around £52 or $65. It's often on sale. That is a kind of sale price. It can go up to as much as 99. If it is £99 or $99, I would avoid it. I just don't think these controllers are worth that much. But to be fair, that's what the backbone costs full price. And if you put the two of these together, I would say pick this every day over this. It's just so much better, unless you're just all about the official PlayStation branding. God, I need another coffee. But yeah, this, as it is officially licensed one and has the PlayStation branding, that's a tongue twister. Jeez, this looks better. Let's get real. Especially, I like white controllers like this. This only comes in this black and purple colorway. Unfortunately, there was photographs on their website of a white version. I don't know where it is. It doesn't seem to be available to buy. So text messages as well. That's a thing I don't like about mobile gaming. Getting text messages when you're, playing your games and stuff like that. Give me a dedicated handheld, people. Oh, jeez, right. Ding, ding, ding. Let's just wait here. So anyways, sale price, you can usually get this for around about £50 or $60 as well. I would still pick this. This definitely is better comfort-wise, more features, and the sticks and the buttons are far superior to this, and that's what you're going to be touching and using all the time when you're playing games. So keep that in mind and pick this one up. Definitely. I'll leave links down below in the description to all of these as well. You can pick up any of them if you like, and I'll leave links to the best prices I can find, so check them out. But that's not all. What about the PlayStation Portal, which I do not have here? I'm going to grab it. So what about when you compare it to the PlayStation Portal? Let's be honest, it's kind of a silly comparison. They are completely different devices. This is a dedicated remote play and now cloud streaming device. It's not as portable. It is a beast. Look at the size of it. I know there's not too much in it when the phone is docked in the S9, but remember, you just take the phone out and it becomes a much smaller device. You can't do that with the Portal because the controller and the screen are connected. It is what it is, and this is a lot more expensive. £50 or $60 versus £200 or $200 for this. And this is tied completely to the PlayStation ecosystem. You can only play PlayStation Remote Play or PlayStation Cloud Streaming games on this, whereas this, you can play PlayStation Remote Play games, you can play Cloud Streaming games from Xbox, from Amazon Luna, from Steam, from GeForce Now. A lot of things you can do with this. So this is the better, portable, cheaper, budget-friendly remote play setup, in my opinion, between this and the Portal. So let's get on to the overall recommendation and my opinion on the S9. If you want a comfortable, budget-friendly remote play controller for your PlayStation, and you may dabble in other platforms as well, the Abxylute S9 is a great option. For traveling about, it is much easier to carry around than the PlayStation Portal, and it's very similar to the Backbone. It is a bit bigger than the Backbone though, so if it's all about the most portable option you can get, the Backbone wins there. If it's a portable option which has better buttons, sticks, triggers, and feel and comfort for long gaming sessions, the S9 is the winner there. The back buttons and the free app are nice touches. The only drawback is the face buttons aren't PlayStation glyphs. I'd really love to see another company get an officially licensed version like this. See if Abxylute could do that. That would be amazing. I would be all over it. For the price, the S9 punches well above its weight. Would I recommend it? Yes, especially for PlayStation 5 players looking for a cheaper remote play setup. Have you tried the Abxylute S9, or are you using something else like the Backbone or PlayStation Portal? Drop your thoughts in the comments and check out how the Abxylute remote play console compares to the PlayStation Portal in this next video on screen now.